Another episode of the Admin and Tom on the Crawford Podcasting and Network. We just spent 20 minutes doing our podcast, pre-podcast. Should have hit record before that, Stevie Adler. Steve Adler, the Admin and Tom, embracing the Michigan State rivalry, and it's March Madness week. The tournament, the number one event, sporting event in my mind. And I'm going to make this statement real quick, and you're going to agree with me. You're probably going to be shocked that I'm saying it. I said this on another podcast. I thought Tom Brady announcing he's coming back on Selection Sunday infuriated me. What the heck? Because it took over SportsCenter on the greatest day, one of the greatest days, Selection Sunday in all of sport. When everybody is about hope and excitement in the NCAA tournament, and all of a sudden we got NFL crap filling up SportsCenter on Sunday night because of Tom Brady. I thought it was selfish. I was pissed off, and I guess I'm getting over it. But your thoughts?
Typical Michigan man, rudeness, always thinking me.
Self-absorbed. I call it.
Do you think, Tom Brady? What have I done in a former life, by the way, that he is coming back? Was I like some kind of tyrant in a former life that I'm being tortured by him?
Well, I don't mind Tom Brady. This is the first time he's pissed me off, but I was irritated for what he did. I mean, the time. Could you hold off one day, or could you have done it last week during the conference? You know, I mean, you got to be. I mean, you're a smart enough guy to figure out this is Selection Sunday. Tom Brady, you're a sports guy. Come on.
But you're kind of doing the same thing with what our topic is. Let's stop talking about stupid Tom Brady and get to the heart of the matter.
Okay.
You think I'm wearing this shirt for nothing? Survive in advance?
Oh, yeah.
This is March Madness.
That's a great shirt. I mean, this is, we were talking about our respective plans, coming week and logistics and it was, it's can be complicated, but it's a fun kind of complication.
Right.
It's a good situation to be in. It's a great week. Everybody's a winner. Michigan kicks off the tournament literally on CBS at 12:15 down in Indy. I'll be down there taking on the Colorado State Rams. This school's out of Fort Collins, Colorado, in the Mountain West, and not a huge team, but very fundamentally sound. And they like to use all that shot clock. It's going to be like playing an Ivy League team, I think. Yeah. But I'm sure you and your buds and your little man gathering that you were telling me about will be cheering on the Rams like they are as green and white as the Spartans are, correct?
Well, yeah, especially that first kickoff game. So yeah, I'm getting together with some buds, and we're gonna have some beverages. Do a little casino action locally, not Vegas, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, so the idea that you guys are kicking it off, a team that doesn't deserve to be in the tournament to begin with. And if you did get in, forget Indy, you guys should be playing on the moon. I mean, the fact that you got rewarded with Indianapolis against Colorado State is just...
Okay, I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I want to get your feelings about that because your feelings are important to me.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
So when Selection Sunday came and they got to the South region, and I'm sure were you watching?
Yeah.
Okay, you're watching. Saw Colorado State, and all of a sudden you saw Michigan pop up there. Okay, so what were now? I'm sure you've been enduring the stages of grief, like denial, why me, anger, all that stuff that Michigan's in the tournament. Where are you at right now in this obsession with Michigan in the tournament? Are you working your way through? Have you sought mental therapy or anything like that? Because you're so obsessed with Michigan being in the tournament, you're pissed off.
The 5 stages of grief. See, that's my bad axe education coming up. That's Elizabeth Ross came up with 5 stages of grief. Thank you, psych class, bad axe high class of 87. I still remember all that. Elizabeth Ross. No, listen, I mean, if you guys got in, you should have been in the playing game. Rutgers got screwed. Rutgers should have your spot. You should have Rutgers' spot. You should have to play your way in.
Do you ever look at the metrics of the NCAA tournament selection teams that are selected, as in the Ken Palm, the Sagarin, the net? Do you ever look at any of that stuff? You realize that Michigan is a higher ranking than Michigan State and all that. 2 teams tied for the Big Ten at 11 and 9. And you don't look at schedule. Are you all one of these guys, naive guys, that just twist it up in this 17-14 record? Is that where you're at? Is that your whole thing, or are you just pissed off that Michigan had something fortunate?
You act like I'm pulling a needle out of a haystack. It's your record. It's 17-14. I don't care about strength of schedule if you can't win.
Oh, strength of schedule. My God, look at the teams. You don't know about quad ones. Do you realize what goes in the criteria of picking teams? How we could go Cupcake City. Well, we can rack up 10 wins. We rack up 10 wins. Play a bunch of cupcakes in half of November and December. Sure, anybody can do that. And then you're in because hey, the record's good, man. The record's some guy said, hey, yeah, I thought you had to have 20 wins. 20 wins. What this is I'll tell you what. This is where Michigan State people bug me. I mean, I don't like to get into the banner thing, but their anger that Michigan was in the tournament, as opposed to just focusing on their team, will totally mystify me until the day I die. Why are you so obsessed with Michigan?
You hate the fact that everyone hates Michigan. You
talk no, like that. I call it mystified.
I'll tell you why. Because it doesn't seem that there's justice, and you guys always get the benefit of the doubt. And when you get the benefit of the doubt, it feels like there's someone on the inside helping you out at all stages, and that's what upsets people. It's not an obsession with Michigan; it's the fact that you guys always get a break, always.
Do you think a 19-15 record at Michigan State had 15 losses last year? Don't you think somebody on the inside was, hey, gotta have Izzo, gotta have Michigan State in the tournament, man. Gotta have
playing game. And we were knocking on the door at 20 wins. You guys aren't even in the ballpark.
Well, because Michigan had games canceled. They had less decisions, 31 decisions.
You could have played some of those games.
You could not have played. They had COVID. They had 8 guys on COVID. So you're one of those guys too. Oh, you play with COVID? Nah, forfeit. So you're one of those, huh? Is that where that goes?
You're fired up this morning. Let's talk the games.
Let the madness begin. Okay, let's segue over to this Foster lawyer, Davidson. And by the way, this is so ironic. Michigan, everybody's wondering, oh, we gotta have Davidson beat who's the team that Davidson beat or lost to?
Oh, in the tournament? Yeah.
And, it'll come to me in a second. I can't think of it. So Foster lawyer's shooting his shot to keep this team out of it, and he nailed it, or he missed it. He missed it. It's like me. So Foster lawyer missed shot. A Michigan State is going to put Michigan out of the tournament. There was that little buzz going on. Everyone's like, oh, that'll be so damn funny. Blah 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 blah. I was getting some messages from Spartan fans on that. But Foster lawyer is I think he's a good fit at Davidson. But is this going to be so weird? Michigan State versus Foster lawyer, 940 down in Greenville, South Carolina.
Well, I mean, I don't think it surprised anyone that, the committee loves the drama storylines.
Yes.
I mean, they love seeing that stuff, and they look ahead and they go, oh, talk about drama. They're looking for drama is what they do, which is smart. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah.
If you're Foster lawyer, when you saw that it was official, they're playing Michigan State, he either went one of two ways. Was he saying, yes, this is the team I want, or is he going, that's the last team I want?
I think he's a competitive guy. If he's a competitor, he's going to embrace it. My God, he can bring some, let's call it intel. And I'll be damned if I don't find this. What league is, what league are they in? I got to find out who they play.
Yeah. Gosh, you think I would know off the top of my head?
Are they in the Sun Belt?
I don't know. I'm going to embarrass myself.
You got to find out who they play. Anyway, I think Foster lawyer will embrace this, but I don't. When I watched him play, and I saw him play in high school and back-to-back junior senior year in the title game, I thought he's a solid player, but man, he's not explosive. I mean, he wouldn't strike fear in me if I was Michigan State.
No, but I mean, he can. I mean, what is he? 3rd or 4th in the nation, 3-point percentage, and top in free throw percentage. So you got to worry about him. But what you do is you just put a bigger guard on him. He doesn't. Obviously, he doesn't have the height. Or you put a whole guard and just beat him up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like you do like the Mateen routine where you just body up on him all the time. And if the refs allow it, that should neutralize him to a certain extent. But hey, I'd be rooting for him if he wasn't playing Michigan State.
It was Richmond. Richmond was a team that they lost. Yeah, the Spiders. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that. I had to find that out. Sometimes I have to find out how my mind. It just okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Speaking of Richmond,
yeah,
the 12 seed going up against Iowa. Everyone's hot on Iowa right now.
I've been in Iowa since for about 3 weeks. Been hot.
I'm going to Richmond.
You're crazy, man. You are nuts.
Let me tell you, I got a buddy who's a big Iowa fan. Grew up out there. Went to grad school with. I texted him the other day, and we texted during Michigan State Iowa games and stuff. And I said, "Is this Iowa team for real?" This is after they won the Big Ten tournament. I said, "What do you think?" He goes, "I would not bet on them in the tournament." He goes, "The last time that they won the Big Ten tournament, they lost the first game of the tournament scrub team." He goes, "Everyone's betting on Iowa. They're the hot team, like Iowa State, 5 years ago. Like everyone went that way because they won the tournament. They're the hot team." He goes, "You got to bet against them."
That has nothing to do. Let me catch up. Last week, you made a declaration to me, or maybe it was in a text. You said, I guarantee you, Rutgers is going to beat Iowa. I said that's when the Big Ten tournament started. I said Iowa's going to win the Big Ten tournament. What happened?
Rutgers hung real tough. Couldn't get a call to save their lives.
It's always
not get a call.
Okay.
Yeah. And me, I'm a Rutgers. For some reason, I like this Rutgers team. I'm rooting for them big time. I don't root for every Big Ten team. I'm not that guy. I don't care about.
I don't root for any Big Ten team.
Our conference looks strong. I don't care as long as your team, your conference doesn't go like 1-8, which is really embarrassing. But I don't sit there and go, "Oh, I'm a Big Ten guy. I want Ohio State to."
I'll tell you what. Screw the Big Ten. I mean, it's 9 teams in. That's great. But I'm telling you, after that, from my radio partner Jack Elwing told me, looking around when Indiana was making that comeback, he saw all these Big Ten shirts. Penn State, Rutgers, all these people all cheering against Michigan. Everybody hates Michigan. Screw the Big Ten. It's Michigan versus everyone. I like that.
Yeah, I can see why you don't like the Big Ten. Yeah, because everyone hates you.
Everyone hates it. Yeah. They just do. They just do. So, I mean, where do you? I mean, I know Davidson, is good team, and that they pose a threat. I'm going to be honest with you. I think Michigan State's playing pretty doggone good right now. I wish Michigan could match their defensive intensity, and I think they're going to beat Davidson, and I really think they're going to beat Duke because they match up well with Duke, and Duke has been absolutely, dragging their legs down the finish line. They go. I saw them play against Carolina. They looked terrible in the Coach K, send-off game. They didn't look good in the ACC tournament. I think you're going to give K his last game. Would that make the NCAA tournament a success for you, as Mr. Spartan fan?
Oh yeah, let's send K to the retirement home. That's my goal. And here's the thing. Normally, when you're playing Duke like the second game, you can fall into the trap of looking ahead. If you were playing some nondescript team that you're supposed to beat in the first game, but because it's Foster Lawyer and you can't have the embarrassment of losing to that, that keeps Michigan State focused on that first game and not looking ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if Michigan State was playing Colorado State, I'd be worried about that first game because they're looking ahead. But Foster Lawyer makes them focus in because you cannot lose that game. You cannot have that be a big storyline. And so you really got to focus on Davidson and then have the other coaches scout Duke and then worry about Duke the second that game's over. So this keeps Michigan State focused. But I agree. I think Duke only goes, 6 deep? So you get Duke in a second game, which is when they're more vulnerable because, legs feeling a little bit of it. So I got Michigan State winning 2 games.
Well, I do too, and basically you suck if you don't beat Duke because I don't think Duke's very good. I'm just letting you know.
All right, let's not go
there. Okay, Tyson Walker. That's a big issue, this ankle thing. And because AJ Hoggard and Tyson Walker are the 2 guys who can turn on that athletic switch.
Yeah.
And push the ball off the rebound, and hit Gabe on the wings and stuff like that. those are my three guys that I think are key. And then Marcus Bingham, like where he's looking like Larry Nance out there all of a sudden.
Right.
There's a name from the past.
Just took 4 years, but hey.
Well, I'm telling you what, it's like, thank God this didn't, for the game in Ann Arbor, Michigan, when Hunter had the big game, he wasn't playing like that because, man, he's long. When you match Marcus Bingham, when you mesh him with this great guard play they're getting in the wing jumpers, and then Joey Hauser hitting a three on and off on occasion.
That last game.
That's a pretty good combination.
Yeah.
That could get you out of the first weekend.
Yeah, I agree. And, like Izzo keeps saying, he goes, hey, Marcus could be a good player if he just wanted to play in the paint and didn't want to be a guard and shoot the three all the time. I mean, he can hit them occasionally, but stay in the paint and think paint first and long shot second, that kind of
right.
thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with Walker. When Walker was out, when he got hurt, then Izzo talked about how he had to change his defensive philosophy against Purdue. No longer could he have Hogard guard Jaden Ivey, who gave Ivey fits the last time they played, because he has to run the point now. He has more point guard duties, and it's too much to run the point and take on the main defensive assignment. So they had to shift Hogard away from Ivey as far as a main defender, and that affected Michigan State, even though they played well and hung with Purdue right to the end. Until Williams had those nice passes. They threw it down to him, and then he found the wide open little guy.
Williams,
Williams had those nice passes. That's what really beat Michigan State in that game.
See, and it's funny, when that tournament's over with, all that just gets erased.
The second it's over.
The second it's over, it's like it never happened. The second it's over, when Michigan versus Colorado State, the Indiana nightmare, the 3.5 day angst and sweat and the bullets and all that stuff, gone. And I'm gonna be honest with you, what was the most anxiety I had was just the NIT, the stigma of the NIT. Because let me tell you something. If you have to go to the NIT, Michigan has had 4, they're one of the few teams that had 4 Sweet 16s in a row. I mean, they have more NCAA. Michigan since 2013 has the second most NCAA tournament wins to Gonzaga, second in the country. Okay, so they've got this NCAA run going. They got a good gig going. Okay, so you're going to the NIT, and if you win that whole so if you lose the first game, humiliation. If you win the whole thing, humiliation. It's like you can't win. Yeah. You cannot win.
You get mocked for winning the NIT if you're a team like Michigan.
Almost worse than losing the first game.
No, first game blowout's pretty bad. It just shows a lack of interest. But it'd be like losing the so-called Final Four of the NIT. That's, I think, almost what you would want. You don't want to even draw attention to an NIT crown because you're going to get mocked for it.
Yeah, you can't win. And it's almost like I was saying to myself, so I was preparing for this thing, because it was in the back of my mind. So if I'm Jawan, I'm saying, listen, we're going to the NIT. I don't want any home games because I don't want 1,800 fans here in Chrysler Arena. Okay, I want no home games.
Right.
Send us along, and send us into a hostile environment so we can kind of just build for next year. And I'll develop some younger players and make this like a spring practice. You know what I mean? That or an AAU circuit. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it, and not draw any attention to it. Because it's hell. I don't think the NIT's existence, when it was a smaller field in the NCAA, that's one thing. But this is ridiculous. I don't know how this tournament still exists.
You know how upset I am that you're not in the NIT.
Oh, you were foaming at the mouth. You had drool coming down your chin.
The jokes write themselves. Hey, Tom. Hey, look at the bright side. The NIT used to be the main tournament.
Yeah,
remember that?
It would be never ending. And the other thing,
the other tournament.
I know. And I'll tell you what, another thing happened is that at the Michigan State game at Chrysler, you had your obnoxious the road Izzo people or whatever those students. They went up in the corner of Chrysler, and it was kind of behind where I said in this suite thing. It's up a little bit higher, and when Michigan was doing the player introductions, they bring out the newspapers that, like from 30 years ago, pretending they're not interested, and they're chanting NIT, NIT, NIT. Okay. And it's like, it just sticks in your craw. You know what I mean? It's just there. You obnoxious freaking Michigan State people. I can't stand you. You have those moments, like, you know what I mean? And that would have haunted me as well.
I have nothing to add to that other than they were doing their job and good for them.
Even though I did like watching them parade out at the 5-minute mark of that game when your team was down by 18.
Why are you so obsessed with Michigan State? Give me a break, Tom. Why are you upset? Why are you obsessed with Izzo, an 18 to 22-year-old college kids rooting against your team? Give me a break, man. Focus on your own team. Score.
Touche. That's good, man. That's good, man. Fist bump for that. Okay.
Thank you.
Projection, your Final Four before we close this out. I mean, I don't have the bracket in front of me. I haven't even carved mine up. What do you think?
I have in the West the Zags.
Okay.
In the South.
And please say Gonzaga. It's not Gonzaga. None of those pet peeves.
You know what drives me nuts? Are like guys on CBS that can't pronounce it.
I know. It's unbelievable.
It drives me out of my mind.
I'm just devil's in the details, and that one bugs me. Okay, the Zags. It's not the Zogs. So you got the Zags.
Yeah. Villanova in the South, 2 seed.
Ooh, excellent pick.
I'm going to say my big upset pick for last. Midwest, I'll go chalk in Kansas. So I got 1, 2, 1. You got to swing for the fences on one of them, right? I mean, you got to go big.
Okay.
In the East, I'm riding Murray State, the 7th.
I heard that's a shame. I mean, Billis is all over Murray State. Yeah.
Oh, is it?
I'm not saying you're duplicating him.
No,
I can't stand. I tell you what, Billis has this love affair with Michigan State, and back to that obsession thing again. I mean, my God, why don't you just move up here, Billis, to East Lansing and just hang out and go to Izzo's practice all the freaking day? Well, move from, you're in Charlotte, move your law firm or whatever the hell you do during the day and come on up here. And so you can just drive over to the break.
That little video snippet I'd be sending to every recruit if I'm Michigan State. How he wished he could have played for Tom Izzo. And
oh my God, over K. What a dig, man.
I don't think he was implying that. I think he was
saying, what do you mean? He played for K. He was like in his fourth, K was in his like 4th or 5th year.
Yeah, but he's saying basically beyond. He's not suggesting Izzo over Coach K for him personally.
I don't know.
He's saying beyond that. But no, it was a nice love letter to Izzo. It was beautiful.
I think that Billis is an anti-Michigan guy since his buddy Tommy Amaker got whacked, and ever since then he's just been hating on Michigan.
Right, but so you got to go for one upset to make the Final Four. So I'm going to go Murray State, 30-2. I've been following them from afar for a while. It's a team of winners. The interesting one is the second round game. They'll get Kentucky. And do you know, and I found this out, I was snooping around, Kentucky has never played Murray State. They're both in the state of Kentucky. I read that Murray State.
Why is that? Is that like Ohio State used to always dodge Cincinnati?
That's what I'm getting at. I want to know what the storyline is there because they've played, over time, they played Western Kentucky. They played Northern Kentucky at least a handful of times. Why have they literally never played Murray State? Is it like Michigan State and Detroit? Kind of that we're going to blackball you for. Is there a reason that they don't like it? So that second round game, assuming Murray State doesn't lose the first one and they're looking ahead to Kentucky, that's going to be the game of the tournament. If you ask me.
I'm gonna give you a little nugget here of history. That same scenario when I was a kid. Finally, this is back in the Cassie Russell. Kentucky played Western Kentucky, for the first time. Never scheduled them. Adolph Rupp was never placed Western Kentucky, and had to play him. And I'm not sure how that game ended up, but they were forced to. The NCAA tournament doesn't have any. You play who you play. So I mean,
good story. Good story on your part where you don't know the ending. Good story. Well done.
Yeah, don't know the ending of what.
They had to play Western Kentucky. I don't remember who won though.
Well, I mean, I just remember. All I remember was, and Kentucky won because they won the national title that year. So I do have the answer to that. But I remember it was a close game, and it was just a huge news peg because it's avoidance, And Michigan has been accused of avoiding Oakland. Maybe it was EMU, everybody has those things.
Right, but you never have played them. There's got to be a bigger story there. They're the only other D1 school in Kentucky they've never played.
I haven't filled up my bracket. I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. I don't have it in front of me right now. I don't know the regions, but I'm taking Franny McCaffrey. Franny is cutting down the Iowa Hawkeyes. I know it's cheap, but it's a 5-seed win, cutting down the Nets. I don't know if
win the whole thing.
Win the whole thing.
Wow.
Iowa Hawkeyes.
You've got them winning the whole thing, and I got them bowing out the first game. Now someone's gonna be talking.
You're anti-Iowa, and I don't have a love affair with Iowa. I mean, like I said, they're a Big Ten team, so screw the Big Ten. All the other Big Ten teams. But this Iowa team, they came down to Chrysler the second time they beat Michigan. I mean, I saw Illinois like 4 days earlier, and I thought that's the best team in the Big Ten. Because Kofi was tearing it up, and the guard, Corbella was unbelievable. But then 4 days later, this Iowa team's better than Illinois, and Illinois is also going to make a deep run. Two teams making a deep run. Purdue's going bye because they're Purdue, and they haven't been in a Final Four since 1980 with Lee Rose as the coach. That ain't happening. But it's Iowa and Illinois, but Iowa's going to be cutting down the nets, baby. The first Big Ten team to win since this team won it and slid into one of the weakest fields and win the national championship in 2000.
Oh, wow. I go back to 89, and I'm thinking,
baby.
History of final games, the worst of all time. Interesting, Iowa. Now they do have the best player. Keegan Murray is the best player in the Big Ten. I don't think there's.
I agree. He's amazing.
And their guards are hitting because everyone has to be so concerned with him. I get what you're saying. I know they have the potential to do it, but this tournament, I just think when all the money goes one way, when everyone is high on this team, everyone zigs. I'm zagging. No pun intended on the zags. I didn't pick a champion yet. I don't know where I would go there. Probably Gonzaga. I mean, just because they.
I gotta go against that. I mean, if you're gonna pick, I mean,
unfinished. One of these years they got to win it, right?
Yeah, and they were close a couple times, and Baylor's not going to do it this year. Anyway, Stevie, great job on the Ed Man and Tom and the Crawford Podcasting Network. We're going to post this up here at around noon today. You'll know it because it's going to come up in here at about noon. And get everybody fired up for March Madness. Enjoy your time. Don't be too disappointed if Michigan beats Colorado State. Get over it.
I got you winning one game. And then Tennessee taking you out.
Okay. Yeah, Tennessee, very athletic. That would be a tough hurdle for Michigan. But, hey, stranger things have happened.
Right. Would you rather have Duke or Tennessee in the second game?
Oh, I'd rather play Duke.
Same.
I mean, Tennessee's better than Duke. I mean, Duke just I don't know, man. I mean, I can't figure them. That game when they had everybody coming back at Cameron Indoor, where you have been.
Too much pressure on those kids.
You think so?
They don't want to let Kay down and the fans down.
Well, they let him down.
And so they try too hard, and then I just think the pressure is too much for those guys. And they only
you imagine all those guys coming in. I thought I would have freaked out if I was that team.
There's Bobby Hurley. There's
Grant Hill is in the house.
Yeah,
Grayson Allen. I mean, everybody.
Legends in that arena, and now you got to go play a game. Of course, they got rocked.
Jay Will was in now. Oh my God, it was never Andy. Christian Leitner. Too much. Too much pressure.
It's too much. Yeah.
Yep.
And so I think the same thing's gonna happen in the tournament. I think these guys, not without all those players there, but I think the players just feel the heat, the pressure. And,
if Michigan State knocks them off, though, that'll be a good feather in the cap. That will be that'll be unbelievable. It'll be an unbelievable one on Friday night. Anyway, great job. We'll talk to you next week. We'll break it all down. The Ed Man and Tom on the Crawford Podcasting Network. Good job, Stevie.
Go Green Thomas.